playing lighting games over here with the light. We're sticking with what we know. Okay, so I finished the pair of socks I was talking about. This was the sock I was working on. So it's this great texture pattern. It's gonna show this perfect for self-striping. I have been trying to find a good texture pattern that would work with self-striping for a really long time. Really happy with this. These will be what's hanging in front of them. These will be the Garter Red Bliss socks, and you can kind of tell. And I was trying out a new toe. This will be, it's a toe decrease I'm experimenting with, and I'm really loving it. So this yarn is Knit Picks Bleachy in the Chelsea colorway. It's got my shortcut heel and garter. I don't know if these socks will fit me. I'm not sure if I made them long enough, but they're really pretty regardless. So now that that's out of the way, I have nothing with the needles, which is so nice. So I've gotten 3 projects together of things I want to cast on. So first, one sock off the needles, another sock must go on. So I picked up my next yarn, and this is Knit Picks Bleachy in the Punch Bug colorway. It's like these muted rainbow colors. It's really nice, and I have tucked in here the mini I'm going to be using. It's just a Yarn Bee mini. It's like I think 75% acrylic, 25% nylon. I found it really good for heels, toes, and cuffs. So that'll be going on. I probably won't cast this on today because I have 2 other projects I really want to cast on. First, so I like to have a maximum of 3 whips, a sock, a sweater, and a small project. This time the small project is going to be a hat. So I am working on a pattern. It is actually this hat pattern. So this very simple cabled hat I'm writing up as a pattern is going to be my first pattern to include a multiple gauge method. So how the pattern will be written, it'll have this is your gauge, so this is what you cast on, and these are the sizes. So this was made out of bulky with 3 stitches per inch, and I'm about to cast on a DK weight version, and my DK yarn is actually 2 fingerings held double because I started a project and it didn't work out. So that's what I'll be using. I'm going to use size 7s, and hopefully 60 grams will be enough. This is, I think, 60 grams exactly. So I think that's enough for a DK weight hat. That should be enough. So I'm probably going to cast this on first. But the other thing that I'm really excited about casting on, and I've wanted to cast on for so long, is I had this picture of a black flax pullover. The flax is a pattern by Tin Can Knits. It's very simple. They have it in the Flax Light and the Flax Aran. I think it's just called the Flax. And I thought one in just a solid black would look so nice, but I came to my senses. Realized knitting with black yarn is so annoying. I didn't want to do it. But then I watched the Knit Witch podcast, and her name is Gabby of the Knit Witch podcast. She has a black flax, and I thought I must do it now because it looks so nice. So I'm going to be using I Love This Yarn in black. It's going to be a trial knitting in all black. I don't think I've knit a project in pure black yarn in a very, very long time, because I had the realization that knitting with black yarn is so hard because you can't see what you're doing. Hey, it's the next day. It's Saturday. Not a lot happened yesterday. I started the hat I talked about. I'll show you that sometime later. Today's Saturday. It's like 2 o'clock right now. And I decided today I was going to focus on my sweater cast on. So I had started the ribbing yesterday. I just cast on and started the ribbing. I don't actually know where my last clip ended. I'm knitting the flax with Tin Knits. I'm imagining a black flax sweater. It's gonna be beautiful. I started it and I'm really happy with the progress I've made. So here it is. It's just a sea of dark yarn. See if I can made quite a bit of progress. I did one row ribbing yesterday, so all of this is today's progress. Probably won't be able to see. Oh, there you go, the garter panel. So I'm using size 9s. These are my knit picks, interchangeable needles. I started on a 16-inch needle. I don't need that anymore. The only thing I changed in this pattern is the neckline. I made it much more open. I think my neckline measures about 22 inches, I believe. And the way I did it is, if the flax is a free pattern, I'm knitting the size medium. And the way it's set up is that you start at the neckline, you knit the neckline, and then you do a round of increases before you get ready for your raglan shaping. I didn't skip the shaping, that round of increases completely. Like for my size, I was supposed to cast on, let me see, it's a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. But I was supposed to cast on 86 stitches with size medium, and that just would have been too tight. I don't like my necklines to come up here. It's not good for me. So I was supposed to cast on 86. I casted on 102, and then for my size, you're supposed to increase by 12 before you start the raglan shaping, and I just increased by 10. So I have the same number of stitches, just get a more open neckline, and it'll sit perfectly. You can kind of see, like otherwise it would have been up close to my neck. I don't have a picture. I didn't print a pattern picture, but if you see that, it's very like crew neck, and crew necks are a little too tight for me. So that's my sweater progress. Also yesterday I did manage to, and I have to reach for it, I managed to do some spinning yesterday. So I had wound off what I had on my drop spindle. This is my drop spindle, and this is the spinning I managed to do yesterday. I'm just using Yarn Bee Showstopper fiber, and I believe the colorway, it's like, I think just rainbow multi. It's very pretty fiber. And I was having trouble getting back into it, so I decided to wind off what I had done. I haven't weighed this yet. I just have this cardboard cut out from like wrapping paper, and just wind it onto here as my bobbin. So I was all ready to go when I apply. But I find with my spinning, I have to pre-draft really fine, because when I'm spinning, I can't draft at all. I can't do it. Like if you are a spinner, you know the motion of, I spin the spindle and I just can't pull the fiber enough to get it to be drafting while I'm spinning. So I find that if I prep the fiber though very fine, I do get a fairly decent spin. Like here's a good example of what I consider a proper spin. But then other times I get just these big fat globs of fiber. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm happy I was able to get this out yesterday and do a little bit of work on it. So yeah, hope to work on my Cozy Memories blanket. I'll show you that tomorrow. I'm so excited about it. I hope to work on it a little bit, but today I want to just focus on this. And right now, I think I'm going to take some finished object pictures for my Instagram. I have been horrible at sharing finished object pictures. Like, I tried to do on my blog a finished Friday post, and I just never get around to it. Fridays get away from me. So I think I'm going to just take some finished object photos and put them on my Instagram for myself and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'll check back in with you sometime later. We'll see when. Hi, so it is again next day. It's Sunday. I wanted to show you my scrappy blanket that I started last week. So here it is. I did all this last week. These are all Knit Picks yarns. I'm using the Coziest Memory by Ravelry. Just with like the stitch counts and stuff. My center doesn't look perfect. No. Actually, since I want the squares to all be in the same direction, I actually had to seam, because the way I had to pick up my stitches to get them all facing the same direction, I had to seam, mattress stitch one of these seams. I think it was this one. I can't remember, which is good. That means I did a good job. So yeah. So I hope to do 2 today because that'll be caught up. I figure my goal will be 1 a week. 1 square a week. And so I have 2 yarns picked out, so that'll be 6, and that'll be caught up with how many Sundays I've been. So just these 2 yarns I'm adding in. So this will be that'll be my goal for the day, and then I think I'll go back to working on my sweater. So yeah. And just have it in this little crochet bag I made. I'll just double crochet, and I have this pin. Never share needles. So that's the plan for today. So I finished my 2 squares with my blanket. These 2. So I have got 6 squares total. I already picked out. This will be next week's square. We put it down here. I really don't know how I'm going to construct the blanket. Maybe I'll do it over here. Looks like I can cast on and pick up here. I don't know, we'll see. I've already woven the linens. Got a decent looking back. So along with finishing the yoke to my sweater, I have another thing I want to finish, I want to accomplish, and that is this basket of crochet amigurumi toys I'm working on. So this was the one you saw me make last time. I sewed it together last week. This is Sveal. This is Warrior Mushroom. So I think I want to do 2 more. I think I will do sew up Luma and Rowlet. I'm going to sew up these 2 toys at some point. So yeah. So I've just gotten done taking some photos for my Whip Wednesday posts that I do on my blog. So I thought I'd show you though some of the progress I've made on all my projects. So first is the hat I cast on yesterday. I don't remember. It's the hat I talked about. I've only done 1 cable repeat and the ribbing. So I'll probably put more work into this tomorrow. That'll probably be my main project. So there's that. And then I just a while ago got past I separated the yoke from my sweater. And it's just a sea of dark knitting that I've gotten. Here's the armhole. So I've gotten about 2 inches. So a trick I've done for raglan sleeves for me, I find that once I do the sleeve shaping and then take off the stitches and cast on the other stitches for the underarm, I find that when I go to knit the underarm, it's too big of a space to pick up all the stitches that they want. For instance, in the flax pattern, they have you cast on 8 stitches, and while I need that 8 stitches for the bust measurement, if I cast on 8 stitches when I go to knit the sleeve, it'll be too big of a gap, and then I'll have to weave in my ends cleverly to make the underarm look better, and I just don't like dealing with that. So what I do instead is I cast on 4 stitches. I cast on half the number they require, so it said to cast on 8, I cast on 4, and then I knit 1 round, and then on the next round I did make ones in between each of the stitches I picked up, so I would still get the 8 stitches for the bust measurement, but I was only have 4 stitches on the underarm, and it's such dark yarn that you can't see, but it's a smaller gap, but I will be able to fit 8 stitches in this underarm place. So that's just a little hack I like to do. I find it better and easier, so I don't have such ugly underarm seams. So that's that.